Welcome into beautiful Clemson, South Carolina for this afternoon softball matchup between the Pitt Panthers and the Clemson Tigers, starting off a 3-game ACC series. Always important to win game one. Mark Childers here with Scott Whitlock. Should be a fantastic matchup today, Scott.
A lot of fun. Conference softball. It's that time of year now. We've had the preseason, and now we're ready to go.
I tell you what, Valerie Cagle has really been a standout for the Clemson Tigers so far this season. She'll be in the circle for the Tigers today. She's also been showing off with her bat this year.
She sure has. She's done a little bit of everything for John Rittman and the Tigers. You'll see right here. Bang. Big walk-off home run with Virginia last weekend.
Yeah, Cagle's been hitting the ball all over the park and out of the park. Recently named ACC Player of the Week for the second time this season. And well-deserved for that, for sure. All right, Let's take a look at the Pitt Panthers lineup and see who can do some damage potentially against Valerie Cagle here this afternoon. Caitlin Pavlik at the top of the lineup, one of the top bats for the Panthers. She leads the team in homers, hits, and RBIs. You see Caitlin Kruger in there in the 3 spot, leads the team in batting average. Morgan Batesole down at the bottom, walk-off earlier this year against Michigan State. Jody Hermanic, second-year head coach. You see Matamor, Logaleo, and Gombarda in the outfield. Valerie Cagle, as we mentioned, in the circle, and completing the battery is JoJo Hyatt.
Cagle's got a very, very heavy drop ball in this win today. That's going to be important because ground balls are going to be what you really want to serve up. The anemometer is telling us right now that it's a wind is sustaining somewhere around 20, 22 miles an hour, but it's been gusting up to 30, so ground balls will be good.
Cagle steps in, about to get underway. Pavlik, Levesque, and Kruger here in the top of the first for the Panthers. Pitch from Cagle, and we're underway. Strike one.
Yep, nice start that time. It's very, very important for any pitcher, but particularly young pitchers, to work ahead in the count. When you get behind in the count, that's when you get yourself in trouble.
Pitch from Cagle, right in there, strike two.
Yep.
Tigers in all orange today with the white socks, and you see Pitt Panthers with the blue jerseys, white pants, and blue socks. Pavlik batting .318 on the season. That one hit right back to the mound, and Cagle with the snag for out number one.
Yep, nice play. She feels her position very well. We've seen that early on this year. Cagle is very athletic, and so she's not afraid to field her position. And you'll see the soft liner gets right back at her, and there's one out.
She reached up with both hands. She reached up with her glove and her bare hand there. I don't know if that's the best way to try and catch it, but she made the snag there. Pitch from Cagle in the dirt. Ball one.
Yep. With Cagle, again, it's all about the drop ball. She does have other pitches, obviously, in her repertoire, but her out pitch is that drop ball.
Getting ahead of the count, important for Cagle as well. That's when she's been the most successful so far this season. Did a good job with the first batter. Was behind 2-0 here to Levesque.
Yeah, you don't want to live in that part of town. 2-0 is not a good way to live.
Levesque leads the team in on-base percentage and in runs.
And with this Bristol win, it can affect the pitches. So Cagle's probably got to get settled in and adjust a little bit for this and that. And, it may take a ball off a corner. It may move a ball back in over the plate.
That's what you want to do, 2-0 right there. Actually, a little movement to the inside of the plate there. Really nice pitch.
That was a screwball.
Cagle to Levesque. Levesque hits one between first and second out into right field, and that'll be our first hit of the ball game and first base runner for the Panthers.
Nice job by Levesque that time. She went with the pitch. She didn't try to do too much with it, and she drove it by the first baseman, Bonamy. You'll see right here. It was hit firmly, but it wouldn't crush, but it was well placed.
Yeah, and that ball on the outside of the plate, didn't try to do anything fancy with it, just took what she was given and knocked that ball into right field. So Levesque's on first base. Caitlin Kruger steps in.
Yep. She got all the way to Pittsburgh from California. That's a long way to go to school. That school bus drive would just drive you crazy.
Oh, my gosh. Batting .368 on the season. That's top 10 in the ACC. She's 8th in the ACC in batting average. Takes strike one.
Well, the Pitt Ball Club is still trying to find its identity. I mean, they have not played at home yet. If you see Cagle get ahead in the count right there.
Levesque on first. Kruger at the plate. Ball inside, gets away. And Levesque's going to make her way down to second base.
And in our conversation with John Rittman pre-game, he talked about avoiding 3 bases, avoiding ball 4, hit batsmen, wild pitches, pass balls. It's very big to the Clemson Ball Club to avoid those things.
Ball just got away from Hyatt. I don't know if it kept tailing a little bit more than she expected. 1-1. Fouled away, 1-2.
Yep, the wind, I'm not trying to make excuses or anything, but this is as stiff a breeze as they have faced out there this year, and it's blowing from a different direction than we've seen early going.
Directly out to center field. It was really blowing out towards left field for almost all of pregame, and it's just recently changed. So you get one up in the air towards center field, and you're going to get a lot of help.
Right.
Levesque on second. Kruger fouls one away. Count remains 1-2.
I don't know if it's the trend nationwide, but I have seen more duels between pitchers and hitters this year. Hitters are just doing such a good job of fighting off pitches, keeping at bats alive. The other day against Charlotte, the Charlotte hitters just hit foul ball after foul ball.
Kruger, a senior, team leader, trying to do some damage here in the first. Hits one towards right field. One hopper to Gombarda. She comes up throwing. We're going to have a play at the plate. Runner is out at home plate. An incredible throw from Gombarda in right. Hyatt scoops it up and makes the tag. That's as good as it comes right there.
Right there. I mean, that's how you play the game. You saw the right fielder start everything off by getting to the ball and fielding it great. Gombarda got it in there. Bonamy makes the relay. And there's out number 2 at home plate. You really enjoy that, and you see the tag did get applied.
Oh, it was close. It didn't feel that close when we saw it real time, but she barely made that tag before the hand got in.
Yeah, it was bang, bang, but I do believe the umpire got it right.
I agree. So Gombarda, a fantastic throw. Hyatt, the scoop and the tag.
Yeah.
Again, has the presence of mind. She had to reach a long way to make that tag,
She did a great job. I mean, absolutely great job did JoJo Hyatt.
Look at Gombarda. Literally comes up throwing. Perfectly executed by the Tigers to avoid.
And there it was. Absolutely.
She slid in and was looking right up at the umpire in the eyes there. Please, Mr. Umpire.
Yeah.
I got in there. Yeah. Not quite that time for Hunter Levesque.
Coach Hermanic for Pittsburgh thought she'd gotten in there too, but the video clearly shows that the home plate umpire did a great job there.
Coach Rittman coming out and talking to Valerie Cagle a little bit. She's been hit pretty hard, giving up 2 singles and the line drive back to the mound. So just trying to settle her down a little bit and see if she can get out of this first inning unscathed.
Yes, that would be so important to her.
Another senior here for Pitt. You'll hear that a lot today. They've got a lot of veterans on this team. Little number down towards third at Taylor. Taylor fires to first, and Valerie Cagle gives up a couple of hits, but she escapes the top of the first inning without giving up any runs. Our score going to the bottom of 1. No score between Pitt and Clemson. No score in Clemson, South Carolina after the top half of the first. Tigers coming up. You see the lineup here. Valerie Cagle, ACC Player of the Week. She leads the ACC in runs scored and in RBIs. Marissa Gombarda, second in the country in home runs, so a lot of powerful bats there. You see Pavlik, Levesque, and McGaffick in the outfield for the Panthers. Barbie behind home plate, and a good pitcher on the mound for the Pitt Panthers.
Well, Becca Miller's out there right now. She's got a little bit of a high ERA at 5.52. Hasn't won yet this season. She's 0-5 on the year, hoping to probably change that this weekend. She's worked 33 innings. She's given up 35 hits, and ball 4 has been a problem for her. She has 21 walks in the early going.
Cami Pereira, the junior, transfer from Furman, steps in for the Tigers. First pitch high, ball 1.
And the Clemson lineup is not your typical expansion lineup. You'll see they've got one senior in the batting order. They've got 4 juniors in the batting order. Coach Rittman and his staff really worked that transfer portal.
Pereira runs up, shows bunt, takes it, strike 1. Would have been a good pitch to try and bunt there. It was on the outside part of the plate, but I think Pereira thought it might have been a little bit too far outside.
Yeah, I think she thought it was just off the plate.
Pereira 1 for 1 last game with 2 RBIs, takes ball 2.
This is something that Pereira is improving on, I think, every week is in terms of extending at bats. She's got an on-base percentage of .341. I know Coach Rittman would like to see it a little bit higher, but he's not going to suppress her. He wants her to remain aggressive.
That ball is skied into center field. Everything's going to be interesting today, and Levesque drags it in. You've got this wind swirling around and blowing out to dead center. That looked like just a routine pop-up, made it almost all the way out into the warning track.
Yeah, this ball was hit about 150 feet and ended up being caught at about 190. The wind just blows it. Like I said, it's in the mid-20s. You watch, she just keeps going. Oh, in the last minute she had to grab it. It's what I call about a 2-club win out there, partner.
Hunter Levesque, again, anything popped into the air is going to be an adventure today.
It sure is.
Grace Matamore, junior, left fielder, 333 on the season. Takes strike 1.
Matamore's done a good job in the early going, hitting in the 2-hole.
Pitch from Miller, off speed, fouled away.
When you've got Cagle in the 3-hole and Gombarda hitting cleanup, you want your 1 and 2 hitters to get on base.
Yes. First time we've really seen the off speed there from Miller. It was a nice one.
Changing speeds is always a huge asset for a pitcher.
That one's high to Matamore, 1 and 2. Had a crazy top of the first. Pitt had 2 singles, a couple of other hard hit balls, and one of the runners thrown out at the plate.
And if you look closely at Matamore, you'll see she uses a little bit of a split hand grip on the bat, kind of like an old Ty Cobb technique where the hands are not actually just up against one another. They're just slightly apart. I think some of the old timers like Cobb, their hands were were split more than that, but you'll see they are just a little bit apart.
Takes ball 3.
Hitters think it gives them more control,
I was going to ask, is that a power or a control thing? No,
that's a back control. That's a back control thing.
Matamore's been very selective here at this at bat.
Done a good job working herself back into count.
Becca Miller with a pitch. Another one fouled away. The at-bat will continue. She was way out in front, about as far out in front of that one as you could possibly be.
Yeah, I can tell right now Miller likes the off-speed stuff. She likes to try to keep the hitter off balance.
I love the lacing of her glove is the same blue as the Pitt jerseys. Love that look. That one's lined, fouled, down towards third, and the battle continues between Miller and Matamore.
Yeah. You see, on that foul ball, you got to get a quick glimpse of Coach John Rittman's cat-like reflexes. I think he almost leaned over toward that ball. There he is. Johnny Ballgame.
Another foul ball for Matamore. This is going to stay inside the park. You don't see many foul balls actually make it into the stands here, but that one did.
Well, I don't mind them coming in the stands as long as they don't come into the booth. The booth is when it gets a little dicey. This has been a nice little battle between Matamore and Miller.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. I don't think she realized the ball got away from Barbie, but out number 2.
And after the off-speed pitch again, had Matamore out in front of it. Beginning to see the strategy. You know, Clemson has flexed a lot of muscle in the early part of the season with their bats, so changing speeds is a pretty good weapon against that, and I think right now that's kind of what the strategy is for Becca Miller.
Pitch from Miller to Cagle. A little bit low, ball 1. Valerie Cagle, the freshman from Virginia, has been doing it all, batting .400, 31 RBIs, is tied for second in the NCAA, leads the ACC.
And she's just been a little bit of everything for these Tigers in the early going. Very, very impressive young player.
Miller's going to be very careful with Cagle and careful with Gumbarda. That's what we've been seeing all season from opposing pitchers. Still hasn't worked a lot of times.
No, it hasn't. It's like pick your poison.
And if you don't have any runners on base, that helps. There's that off speed again. Foul tips. Strike one.
Cagle uses the entire ballpark when she swings. She sprays the ball. I've seen her hit balls out of the park, left field, right field, center field, doubles in both gaps. She's a pretty good hit ball hitter.
High again, ball three.
Miller being very careful with her.
And missing high is something you don't want to do with Cagle or Gumbarda. And she's been high a couple of times to a few of these batters.
Yeah, if you miss up, you better miss way up.
Miller to Cagle, off speed. Cagle hits it barely foul down the first base line. Count will be full.
Isn't it great to see the sunshine today?
It is.
Oh, man.
It's been raining a lot in the upstate of South Carolina for the past couple of weeks. And it's a little chillier than expected. And again, that wind's blowing really hard. But I think all the locals will take it over all of the rain we've had.
Yes, it has been a rainy week.
Wind blowing towards left center right now. Full count to Cagle. Cagle pops that one up. Again, these are going to be an adventure. Lane grabs it for a 1-2-3 inning for Becca Miller. So after one inning of play, Pitt has 2 hits, Clemson none. We have no score. We'll be back with the top of the second. Top of the second, no score between Pittsburgh and Clemson in this ACC battle. And let me tell you, the Clemson Tigers have been red hot at home. They lost their first home game of the season. They've won 11 consecutive here in Clemson Softball Stadium since then. And more importantly, Scott, they've won 8 in a row.
They have won 8 in a row, and they have won a lot of games here at the softball park here in Clemson, South Carolina. But the one thing that I think is really big for the Clemson fans to remember is the biggest accomplishment they had is they're laying a great foundation and creating a great culture for this brand new softball program.
McGaffick, Barbie, and Lane due up for the Panthers here in the top of the second. Valerie Cagle's first pitch. Strike one.
Sounds like a law firm right there. I mean,
McGaffick, Barbie, and Lane.
Yeah.
Connor batting .229 this season, 1 homer, 4 RBIs.
The Clemson fans got a chance to see Pitt play earlier in the year as Pitt played here alongside of Maryland and Michigan State and Clemson as part of the ACC Big Ten Challenge.
Just a couple of weeks ago, they won 2 games here, had a walk-off in one of those games, so they've got some good memories to cling to here as we start this 3-game series. Right in there from Valerie Cagle, her first strikeout.
Yeah, and that's what she does. If she gets in a groove, she can be a handful. You see right here, that is just too close a pitch to take with 2 strikes.
Whatever McGaffick was expecting was not what she saw, because that was right down the middle of the plate.
Yeah, I think she was expecting a waste pitch, and she didn't get one.
First pitch inside to Walker Barbie. Barbie from North Carolina. Again, another senior, a very veteran team for the Pitt Panthers, batting .240 on the season.
I don't know where Oakboro, North Carolina's at.
We need to do a little research. I do not either. Next one, maybe a little high, maybe a little inside, but ball 2.
I think it was just off the plate on the inside, according to the home plate umpire. Yep. It rode up and out.
Valerie Cagle, 7 wins on the season. Looking for number 8 today. Gets a foul ball there.
Yep.
Cagle, 3rd in the ACC with 69 strikeouts. She's 2nd in the ACC with 7 complete games. So all of her wins have been complete games, and a lot of that comes from her getting ahead in the count.
Absolutely.
2-1 to Barbie. Off speed. Check swing fouled away. Strike 2.
Evened up the count. Kegel's got herself back in the at-bat now. See Barbie just not able to check her swing quite enough and fouled it off. Whoa!
Got a little away from her. Ball 3.
Just a bit high. That is.
If that one slipped, looked like so it had a curve or something just got away from it.
That either slipped or was the greatest rise ball in the history of man.
Next pitch hit right back to the mound, fires over to Bonamy at first base, so an easy out number 2 for Valerie Kegel.
And that was a good recovery that time by Kegel. She got behind in the count early, 2-0. And again, building your position.
Pavlik, the first batter of the game, hit a line shot right back at her that she snared, so another good play right there.
Look at that.
Look at that, a third. Right back to her, right over to first, and easy out number 3 as well for Valerie Kegel. So after a little bit of trouble in the top of the first, she has no trouble at all here in the top of the second. 2 fantastic plays there by Valerie Kegel in the circle. We go to the bottom of the second, no score. Bottom of the second, no score between the Pitt Panthers and Clemson Tigers. A blustery afternoon. You see H2P on the back of the Pitt jerseys. You see it on a lot of their visors as well on the sides. Hail to Pitt, which is their fight song, and a lot of times alumni and emails are just talking to each other when they're ending the conversation. H2P. HTP sometimes as well.
Yep. Well, that I always want to represent the home team, you know. So when they take it on the road, they put that on their jersey, and it's great for their fans and alum.
First pitch to Gombarda.
And Gombarda steps in, and she's been on a bit of a tear,
to say the least. Look at these numbers. 10 home runs. That's good enough for second in the NCAA. She leads the ACC in homers as well. And just like Valerie Kegel before her, getting either one of these ladies out is difficult.
Yes, it is. Gombarda really knows what to do with the bat.
I was here for the Virginia series, and the Virginia pitchers did not give Gombarda a thing to hit that entire series. I think she had 5 or 6 walks in the series. They were very, very careful with her. So the fact there's nobody on base is important.
Right. And she was Conference Player of the Year a year ago. Now you say, well, now wait a minute, how could she do that? Clemson didn't have a team a year ago. Well, it wasn't in the ACC. A year ago, Gombarda was playing softball at Furman University, and she was the Southern Conference Player of the Year. The Clemson program arrived, and Gombarda decided to come southeast a little bit and play some softball, and here she is.
Outside, 2-2.
And I would say that if you're Coach John Rittman, you're very, very glad she did, because she has really, really helped Kegel carry this team offensively this year in the early going.
Yeah, Kegel and Gombarda leading the ACC, or number 2 in the ACC, in just about every offensive category so far this season. That one misses. Another full count for Miller.
And Gombarda hit a ball out of here 2 nights ago that absolutely, I don't think it got more than maybe 12 feet high. And it went all the way out to the Seneca River. It has a basin just out here just beyond the center field wall. And as you see, the off-speed pitch gets Gombarda, but she hit that ball almost all the way to the water.
Shows you what kind of power she has.
And she's out way ahead of that changeup.
So Becca Miller coming into this ball game, an ERA over 5.5. Hasn't gotten a win so far this season, but she's looked really sharp against the first 4 batters, which is really the most difficult part of the Clemson lineup. Doesn't get any easier for her with Hannah Goodwin stepping in.
Right. And I think she's done a really good job the first time through the batting order. Of course, she's faced 4 batters, but it's clear that she likes her changeup in her all-speed stuff. She knows that she needs to work ahead, and she's letting the Clemson hitters help her by by them being so aggressive and chasing that changeup.
Yeah, that off-speed, that changeup pitch has been fantastic for her, getting both of her strikeouts on it. He's outside 1-1. A little bit outside.
Just outside. One of the fun things to watch will be the second time through the order of the game within the game. What adjustments the Clemson hitters make on it.
That one's hit hard down the left field line. Fair ball is going to go all the way to the wall. Hannah Goodwin rounds first base. And she's going to come into second base, sliding in there for a double in the first hit of the ball game for the Tigers.
Yep. Goodwin didn't mess around. She stood in there, she waited, she was patient, and she turned on it. You're going to see this ball just ripped down into the left field corner. The pads here in the outfield are very lively. The left fielder did a great job getting over to the ball, but by the time Pavlik got the ball in, Goodwin was sliding into second base.
So Goodwin stands at second with the double. 1 out. M.K. Bonamy, the first baseman, takes strike one on the outside corner.
Yep. Going to be interesting to see now how Miller does now that she's pitching under a little bit of stress. Got a runner out there in scoring position. Sometimes that'll change a pitcher. We'll just have to see if she stays within herself and keeps making good pitches, because she's pitched a pretty good game so far.
That one's skied down towards third base. Let's see if anyone can track it down. It'll make its way into the dugout. Foul ball. I think the wind helped blow that one foul.
It may have helped it a lot go foul, because that I think the third baseman and shortstop clearly thought they had a play on this ball, and it just kept blowing and blowing and going and ended up in the bullpen.
Bonamy, a senior on this team. Coach Rittman says she's one of the team leaders. There's 12 freshmen on a team. Bonamy's the senior. Pitch from Miller. Tries that off speed. Way outside. 1-2.
Bonamy has been a stabling force, I think, for Coach Rittman and the Tigers. Doing a nice job. I mean, she's hitting .311. Got a couple of home runs. 19 RBI. I know she'd love to pick up her 20th right here.
Started every game this season for the Tigers. And it pops one over towards third base. Easy play there for Batesole. Out number 2.
Yep. Again, Miller doing a very, very good job of allowing the Clemson hitters to help her. She's really got them off balance right now.
Freshman Aaliyah Logaleo, batting .362 on the season. She was 1 for 2 in her last game against Charlotte.
Mark, that might be my favorite name of college softball this year.
Aaliyah Logaleo.
Aaliyah Logaleo. Yeah, that's
Goodwin still down at second.
Freshman's hitting .362 on the year.
Swung on and missed. Strike 2.
Yeah, swung right through that one.
Miller, who struggled a little bit with her control this season. She had more walks than strikeouts coming into this ball game.
Yep.
Hasn't had any trouble so far today. She's been getting out in front of all the hitters.
She sure has. She's had pretty good command of everything.
Logaleo just gets a piece of that one foul.
Ball spun down toward first base. Home plate umpire's going to go out and take a look at it. See if it got cut on the end of the bat. It didn't. I could have told him that.
Miller's working the plate really well also, Scott. You're seeing it high and low and all 4 quadrants, really moving that ball around. And like you said, keeping the Tigers off balance.
It's called pitching. And she's pitching very well right now.
Logaleo hits one high and deep to left field off the very top of the wall. Goodwin's going to come around and score. Logaleo with the double. That was about a foot from getting out of here, but the Tigers lead 1-0.
It sure is, and Goodwin, the base runner at second, thought the ball had left the park. She broke into a home run jog, and Coach John Rippon had to tell her to speed things up, and a pair of doubles here in the bottom of the second have given the Tigers the lead.
Well, that ball was ripped. I thought it was going to get out of here, maybe 18 inches from the top of that wall and going out.
Right below it. And I don't know if you see, you see right there, Goodwin said, oh no, I got to work for a living. Got in there.
The freshman delivers second hit of the ball game for the Tigers in the first run.
Yeah.
Bailey Taylor, the third baseman. Junior transfer from Troy.
The Troy program over the years has produced some very good softball players. A lot of folks wouldn't know that, but Troy's always had a history of good teams.
Taylor takes one inside, ball two. So Aaliyah Logaleo strikes first for the Tigers here in the bottom of the second.
And you can see Miller right now. Her mannerisms are changing just a little bit. She needs to just get back in her tunnel. There's not a thing that she can do about those two doubles. She needs to forget it and go into damage control. But right now you're going to see she's just trying to help it a little bit too much right there and drop the ball in the dirt.
Jody Hermanic, second-year coach for the Panthers, comes out. It's a really good mound visit. It's a good time to come out there. And as you noted, Miller's been getting ahead of all of the batters so far in this game, and that second double that she gave up this inning, and that ball was really hit hard by Logaleo. I don't want to say rattled her a little bit, but she struggled a little bit against Taylor here.
And you also may want to remind her at this point in time right now is that you got a base open. You don't have to throw a real fat pitch up there, because as you can see what the graphic says there, Clemson leads the ACC in RBIs and doubles and at-bats and plate appearances. And so this is a dangerous offensive team, so you don't want to give them anything easy to hit.
3-0 to Taylor, right in there, strike one. So Hermanic came out, talked to Miller. Looks like it got her back on track.
Well, we'll see. Miller doesn't need to get too brave right here, even though the count's 3-1. You don't want to turn a 231 hitter into a 321 hitter.
Off-speed pitch right in there, strike two. It looked like Taylor was taken the whole way. Taylor does have one homer this year. Yeah. Does have some power.
I was surprised that she was taking 3-1, but I agree with you. It looked like she was taken all the way.
Another full count for Miller. I believe this is her fourth full count against a Tiger batter here in the first two innings. Taylor hits one high and deep to left field. Let's see if it's enough. It is a two-run home run for Bailey Taylor.
She got to look at pitches, and she found one she liked. She knew what she was doing taking that 3-1 pitch, because 3-2 was a cookie, and she drove it right out of here. And just like that, the Clemson Tigers are up 3-0.
Wind is not blowing near as hard as it was earlier. That did not need any help from the wind. Was that caught by that fan out there? I missed at the very end of it.
If he didn't catch it, he made a great move on it. Let's see.
Let's see if they got a grab right there.
It's long and high.
Look at that.
It is caught.
Play of the day right there. Look
like
at that
a wide
grab.
receiver. He did it with a double hand to the chest.
Oh, and then he falls down.
And he held on, and he fell down, and a lot of stuff going on out there on the knoll.
I guarantee you Dabo Sweeney's watching from somewhere, and he's like, who is that guy?
Yeah.
Who's that guy?
He caught the ball, but he fell down.
Yeah. Might need another walk-on for the football team.
Yeah.
So Logaleo with the RBI double, Taylor with the two-run blast. The catcher JoJo Hyatt steps in, and Clemson suddenly on top 3-0. That happened fast.
And quietly. When I say quietly, they were not showing any great signs of jumping out and jumping on people, but when Goodwin hit that first double, it's kind of like it warmed up the bats. And Goodwin and Logaleo and Taylor have put the Tigers in a good situation.
Second homer of the year for Taylor. She's up to 10 RBIs now.
And again, Miller is pitched pretty good, but you know what? You got behind in the count 3-0, and you turn a 230 hitter into a 320 hitter when you do that, because they know you're going to be around the plate more, and that was the case there.
Hyatt had a hit in her last game against Charlotte. Good off-speed pitch, just inside, 2-1.
Yep. JoJo Hyatt played her high school softball down the road at Buford High School. Teammates with pitcher for Clemson, Logan Camel, and a couple other people. And that was lifted out.
Yep, hit to center field. Levesque drags it in to mercifully end the inning for the Pitt Panthers. So 3 runs on 3 hits for Clemson. The big one, the 2-run homer from Bailey Taylor. 3-0 our score. Tigers strike for 3 in the bottom of the second inning to take the 3-0 lead over Pittsburgh as we head to the top of the third.
And if you're Valerie Cagle, life's a lot better. You got a 3-run lead. And it's important now that she try to supply Clemson with a shutdown inning. After you jump out and you grab a lead like this, the last thing you want to do is allow your opposition to get right back in the game. And she's got the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to work with here. So here's her an opportunity to have a shutdown inning.
Lolo Sanchez tried to bunt her way on with the first pitch and hit it foul. Runs up, pitch number 2, and takes strike 2.
Well, pumping strikes, that's the secret to her success. And you see that drop ball just gets about to the front of the plate, catches enough of the plate at the knee, and then just dives straight down.
And it's outside, ball 1. Sanchez, the junior, transfer from Mercer.
And all it's got to do, the ball's only got to catch part of the plate in the strike zone. It does not have to be in the strike zone all the way across the plate. And I think that Cagle does a pretty good job of using that front part of the plate to attain the strike and have the ball get away from her.
Another one right back to the mound, fired over to first base for the out. That's 3 consecutive comebackers that the Pitt Panthers have hit to Valerie Cagle.
She's got 3 assists and 1 putout already in the ball game. That's
about as easy as it comes right there. A little one-hopper right back to her. She barely had to move. Put a little smoke on that throw over to Bonamy as well.
That was. Bonamy's got to be on the guard over there.
Morgan Batesole up for the Panthers. Takes strike 1. Batesole, the junior. She had a walk-off single against Michigan State. You referenced earlier that Pitt came in, played in the ACC Big Ten Challenge in this park, and some great memories for Morgan Batesole as she hit the walk-off.
Absolutely.
Lays down a bunt down towards third. It could not have been hit any more perfectly than that.
Well,
you couldn't have rolled it out there better than that, and she gets the single.
If you're Bailey Taylor, all you could do is put that ball in your pocket. I mean, you just got to give credit to the 9-hole hitter. You got me on that one.
Got any girls out there trying to learn how to bunt in the world of softball? Just watch this video again and again. Just absolutely perfect. Wow.
That was very, very well done.
Back to the top of the order now. Caitlin Pavlik. It's a good stop there by Hyatt to keep it in front of her and keep Batesole over on first. Pavlik hit a line drive right back to Valerie Cagle her first time up.
Yes, she did.
Pavlik hits one right past the shortstop into left field for the base hit. So back-to-back singles. Very different variety of singles, but they both count. 2 runners on now for the Panthers.
That ball was hit very, very sharply that time by Pavlik. Shortstop Goodwin didn't have much of a chance on this one.
Goodwin went for pretty much the full extension, but like you said, it was hit so hard it got under her glove before she could even get down onto the ground.
Yep. And this is kind of where the game within the game starts, because this is Pitt's second time through the order now. They've seen Cagle once, and so now let's see what adjustments they make and what they do. If you're Clemson, you just want to keep pumping those strikes in there, and you see she did a good job of getting ahead right there.
Hunter Levesque, the center fielder, had a single in the first inning. She was thrown out at the plate later in that inning. Cagle's in a bit of trouble. 2 on with 1 out. Took a little off of that one. Just missed outside. 1-1.
Cagle wanted that pitch. He's staring in there like, oh, man, that was a good one.
Woo! Didn't miss by much.
And what she's got to do is forget about that. Go right back to this pitch. This is the only pitch that matters.
Batesole on second. Pavlik on first. Owen's high and gets away from JoJo Hyatt, and the runners will move up to second and third.
This has been something that Coach Rittman has talked about a lot with his pitchers, about wild pitches, pass balls, giving the opposition free bases. And this is the second time we've seen this happen in the game. And now the Pittsburgh threat is real.
Check swing. Strike 2.
Evens up the count.
Levesque leads the team in runs with 12. 440 on base percentage also leads the team. Was a little late on that one, and it was across the plate as well.
And Levesque took a walk. Had a pep talk with herself on that, but she knows she should have laid off of it.
Cagle fires one by her. Strike 3. Big second out.
That right there is a big pitch with runners on second and third to get the second out. You'll see right here, big heavy drop ball. It was just nowhere to be found. And you see Kyle Jamison, the pitching coach for Clemson, making his way to the mound. I don't know, he's probably talking a little bit about what to do with Kruger. Kruger is leading the Pitt team in hitting and is a dangerous hitter, and you got a base open. So he's probably out there just reminding everybody of all the options.
Yeah, Kruger batting .368 on the season coming into this game. Had a single her first time up. Has a home run as well. 5 doubles. Big threat for the Pitt Panthers.
Again, I'd
385 now.
Yeah, I'd be very, very careful working with her.
Morgan Batesole is on third. Caitlin Pavlik's on second. Caitlin Kruger digs in. Ball 1.
Kruger's a tall hitter.
Yes, Dad, here you go, Kruger.
I guess she's also a tall second baseman, isn't she?
She's in there. Strike 1.
Cagle throws the ball hard, and when you throw the ball hard, you've got a chance of every once in a while just sneaking one by the batter. And if you throw the ball hard and you've got a drop ball to go with it, that just makes that drop ball that much heavier and hard to handle.
Ball's hit out towards second. Easy play over to first, and Valerie Cagle got into trouble and got out of trouble to maintain the 3-run lead. Clemson's on top of the Pitt Panthers, 3-0, headed to the bottom of the third. Headed to the bottom of the third inning. It'll be back to the top of the order for the Clemson Tigers as they lead the Pitt Panthers 3-0. Cami Pereira, a fly ball to center field her first time up.
Back to the top of the order. Now, this will be the second time the Tigers have seen Miller.
That one inside from Becca Miller, ball 1. Pereira had 2 RBIs in her last game. Takes that one low, 2-0.
You don't want to do this if you're any pitcher. You just don't want to pitch from behind. And you'll see here, this ball was nowhere near the strike zone.
This game really changed on a dime on the Logaleo double off the wall. Miller had been out in front of every batter before that, hadn't really been making many mistakes. She's been behind all the batters since then. There's another hit for the Tigers. Pereira gets a single to right field.
I don't know what the official stat is, but when you get 2-0, you get 3-0, I mean, it just makes a hitter almost 100 points better because they know the ball is going to be around the zone. And you see that right there. Pereira just turns on that and laces it out there to right field. Going to bring up Mattimore.
Mattimore struck out her first time up. Barbie's going to go out and talk to Miller. Settle her down a little bit. Well, it looks like we're actually going to get a change here on the mound. All right, well, we sort out the pitching change here. Let's take a look back to the second inning and all the offensive fireworks from the Tigers in that one. What really got it going for Clemson was the center fielder, Aaliyah Logaleo. This line shot hit so hard right off the top of the wall, narrowly missing a homer. Got an RBI with that one. Very next batter, Bailey Taylor, facing a full count, cranks one to left field out of the stadium. A heck of a catch there by a fan as well. Barely keeps his feet. And that's how we got to our 3-0 lead.
That fan, again, made a nice catch. And that's your new pitcher right there, Brittany Knight. She's been the workhorse for the Pitt Panthers. I think she pitched all 3 conference games last weekend at North Carolina, I believe it was. She's 5-4, 3.83 ERA, 37 strikeouts to 17 walks, and she's pitched 45 2/3 for them. So again, this is her 9th appearance. So she has played a lot of softball in the early going for this Pitt Panther ball club.
She inherits a base runner at first base and a very difficult portion of the lineup for the Tigers. You've got Mattimore, Cagle, and Gombarda due up next.
And perhaps Coach Hermanic was going with the strategy of letting Becca Miller buy as many innings for Pitt as they possibly could, and also to save innings for Knight. And she just felt like that it was time to make a change because Pereira hit that ball very sharply into right field, and we had a lot of balls hit hard in the second. You can see right here her first pitch. This is just a little low.
Mattimore, the junior transfer from Army West Point. Can play any position in the field. She does not pitch, but she does everything else. Takes ball 2.
And transferred out of Army. Now, I have confirmed that she is not AWOL. She did officially transfer.
And Pereira got a little too far off of first base there. Barbie jumped up after she caught that pitch and thought about throwing over behind her. Mattimore hits one between short and third for the single. Tigers have 2 base runners.
Yeah, and if you're Knight and this Pittsburgh defense, this is not where you want to be because you got runners on first and second, nobody out, and you got Cagle and Gombarda coming to town.
Mattimore didn't hit it hard, but it was perfectly located.
Yep.
Valerie Cagle popped up to the short stop her first time up. Takes ball 1. Scott, it's tough coming in the middle of an inning, especially when you're inheriting base runners. And Knight, normally a starter for Pitt. I mean, she's done both roles, but if you're used to starting, sometimes coming in and already being in a difficult situation can be tough.
Oh, absolutely. This is, inherited runners is a lot to ask of a pitcher, and so she already came into the game at a little bit of a handicap, but getting behind now 2-0 to Cagle, she is truly dancing with the devil.
Cagle fouls one away, 2-1.
And you saw Cagle take a great rip at that. The one thing John Rittman is not afraid to do is keep a green light on his hot hitters. We saw Cagle end the game this season on a 3-0 count. Most times you would think that's an automatic take. Well, she did it. She did take it, but she took it out over the 220 sign.
The 2-1 to Valerie Cagle. Outside part of the plate, 2-2.
That might have been the best pitch Knight's thrown since she entered the ball game. You'll see this ball right here. You see it just Just angles and catches the front half of the plate, then leaves the zone.
Pereira at second, Matamore at first. Nobody out. Pitch in the dirt to Cagle. Now you'll have a full count. So you consider moving the base runners here with Cagle up? You
I'm
keeping
not
them
going,
close to the bag?
I'm not going to with Gombarda on deck. I'm going to give both of them a chance to swing before I start the runners. But that, me guessing that probably means they're going to automatically run.
Runners not moving. Cagle laces one off of the railing of the dugout. Count remains full.
Now that one got Coach Rittman's attention as well. That ball on the ricochet came back by. You watch. She turns on it very quickly off the ricochet, and you see Coach Rittman taking a stroll out toward third base. He's not very happy with that ball coming so close to him.
Off-speed pitch. Cagle gets a piece of it. Fouls it away. Count remains full. So we've got a showdown here between Brittany Knight and Valerie Cagle. Full count. 2 runners on. Big moment in this ball game.
Nobody out.
Cagle, the ACC Player of the Week, trying to do some more damage. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. A big out for Knight.
That sure was. I think that Cagle might have been a little anxious on that. I'm thinking she may have chased ball 4. That ball looked well inside to me. But it is not ball 4 if they swing at it. It's strike 3.
Good pitch there from Knight. Her first strikeout, the 3rd strikeout of the game for the Pitt pitching staff. Ball 1. I tell you, Knight's not doing herself any favors with these batters. She's been getting behind almost every batter so far.
And Barbie's doing a great job of saving her, because she's been wild and out of the zone a couple times and in the dirt.
Gombarda hits one to the shortstop. Bobbled there. Tries to make the play at second. No play there. Bases are full of Tigers. That ball was hit really hard.
That ball was hit really hard. It'll probably scored as an error. It really ate up Lane. We'll see how they score it, but that ball was hit sharply. But I think Lane made the mistake as she was trying to start the double play a little early. Nope, that ball just ate her up.
It did. I don't know if she was thinking double play or what she was there. We'll see what the official scoring ends up being. Clemson Tigers have already hit 4 grand slams this season as Hannah Goodwin steps in, looking to make it 5.
Looks like they're going to give her a hit on that.
First pitch to Goodwin, hit to the shortstop, off of her glove. Everybody's safe. Tigers out a 4th run.
And Mark, this is how a big inning is born.
Yes.
You get a couple of leadoff hits, and now you've had a couple of tough breaks going on and runs scoring. You see right here.
Lane went to her knees to try to make the play.
Gets the glove on it to keep it in and may have saved the second run from scoring.
Pereira was off at the crack of the bat there. Easily scores the run. Tigers extend their lead to 4-0, and M.K. Bonamy steps in.
And you use the exact word you should use, extended the lead, because right now, if you're the Tigers, you want to create separation.
Yes. Again, 4 grand slams on the season for the Tigers. Bonamy, it's a little knuckler there. Foul. Haynes tried to go over there and make a play, could not get there. Strike 1.
And I think that got one of the camera people down in the Clemson dugout, or it may have got our microphone guy. I see him shaking his hand very strongly. I guarantee you that hurt if he got hit on the knuckle with that.
Next pitch high.
I don't know if we can get a clip of that, but somebody with some photographic equipment down there got one on the hand.
M.K. Bonamy, the first baseman. Great off-speed pitch for strike 2 from Knight.
That was a good pitch. Watch right here. Just great job of painting the plate.
See Coach John Rittman. We'll talk to him after this half inning. He'll probably be happy, especially if they can get a few more runs. Bonamy stays alive. Count still 1-2. Bonamy, the senior transfer from Notre Dame.
Yep, and so far this year, Clemson is just fed on these type of situations. You mentioned the 4 grand slams, but they specialize in scoring runs in bunches.
Ball bounces up there. Nice play by Barbie to keep it in front of her.
That was your
2-2.
Yeah, that was a 36-footer right there. That was
I may not have even made it 36.
Doop. Yeah, that's not what you want to do.
Bases full of Tigers. Already have 1 run this inning. Pitch to Bonamy inside. Gets out of the way of that one. Count is now full, 3-2.
Yeah. That loosened her up a little bit. She took a couple of deep. Watch her take a walk and take a couple of deep breaths after this. You see that got right real inside, and Bonamy just had to take a little stroll after that.
Let's see if Knight goes to this off-speed pitch again to try to get strike 3. Off-speed, hit between short and third. 1 run's going to score. And the bases will remain full. The Tigers now lead 5-0. A good piece of hitting there from MK Bonamy.
A great at-bat. I mean, she really did work the count. Stayed alive. And now she's bringing up Logaleo with the same situation. Bases loaded and 1 out. You watch right here. Just not hit great, but hit right in the hole. That's what you want to do. And you see John Rittman winding them up, and then they throws up the stop sign.
So Brittany Knight came into this ball game in relief. Does have the 1 strikeout of Valerie Cagle. All 4 other Tigers that she has faced have singles. And Logaleo, who really got all the fireworks started back in the 2nd inning with her RBI double, can really break it open here with a big hit.
Oh, 1 in the gap right here would be huge. Again, I think you used the word, but the separation is really what it's about now.
1-0 pitch to Logaleo, swung on and missed. Count even 1-1.
Didn't get that breaking ball.
There you go, really nice pitch.
Yep. As a coach, a lot of times you strategize. Obviously, you want to lead. So a 1-run lead is your first objective. That misses well outside, counts 2-1. Then a 2-run lead, because a 2-run lead, a solo homer can't beat you.
Yep.
Then you want a 4-run lead where a grand slam can't beat you. Then you want a 5-run lead where it still makes you a winner, and then you play for 8. And after that you settle in and just play great defense and go home.
Logaleo takes ball 3 high, 3-1.
And right here is where the game can really get away from you.
Are you taking here on 3-1, or are you going to try to be aggressive with anything close?
You're going to have a little bitty zone, though. A little bit. That ball's got to be in a certain place at a certain pace, and you'll swing at it. But if it's not, you're going to let it go.
Brittany Knight in a whole heap of trouble. A little bit outside the Logaleo. That's a walk and another run for the Tigers. They lead 6-0.
Now, we're seeing another big inning develop for the Tigers, and they're not done yet. And for Pittsburgh, this is just a mess. It's just a total chaotic situation now, because you've gone to your bullpen, you've brought out your ace, and the Clemson Tigers have extended this lead now to 6 runs, and they're looking for a lot more. Taylor's up. She had a big knocker first time up, I believe.
Yep, she had the 2-run homer last time up. Her 2nd of the season. That was Logaleo's 2nd RBI of the day. First pitch right in there to Taylor, strike 1.
Taylor hits another one out the park. Now she's going to want to renegotiate her scholarship.
Goodwin on 3rd, Bonamy on 2nd, Logaleo on 1st. Taylor at the plate. It's high, 1-1. She absolutely hammered this home run. And again, the ball is blowing out to left field a little bit. Didn't matter on this one.
Great catch by that fan, but he didn't stick the landing.
Knight fires one right in there on the outside. Part of the plate, 1-2.
That one had a little bit more velocity than we've seen so far out of her. That one was piped in there pretty good.
Tigers have already put 3 runs across this inning. Taylor stays alive, 1-2.
This is just about the time in an inning like this where a hitter will hit like a bloop double or a bloop something. Anything that can go bad will go bad. It's just one of those times. It'd be really to Knight's credit if she can somehow wiggle out of this now with no more runs scored.
Taylor hits one down the left field line. It stays fair. 1 run's going to score. They'll hold that runner there at third base. Bonamy stops there. The Tigers add the extra point. They're on top 7-0.
You see, she hit just a sharp one-hopper out to the left fielder, and it's 7-0.
Third RBI of the game for Taylor.
One hop, the left fielder did a great job of getting the ball back in where the runner from second base didn't score. But you find yourself now in a situation of where this game could really get bad. You got JoJo Hyatt coming up to hit. I think that's Bonamy out there at third base, and Logaleo is at second. Taylor's single places her at first.
Yeah, Bonamy took a big turn around third, and the ball came back into the third baseman. She had to scramble back a little bit.
Yes, she did.
So 6 hits already this inning, all of them singles. 4 runs across already for the Tigers.
Well, in the game versus Georgia, all of Clemson's scoring came in one inning. I think that was a 2-1 ball game, and it was 6 consecutive singles that scored those runs. Or maybe it was 3-2. But it was 6 consecutive singles in there, and we've seen more or less a repeat of that this inning.
2 singles to start the inning, the strikeout by Cagle, then 3 straight singles, a walk, and then another single. 6 hits, 4 runs. JoJo Hyatt, the catcher, hit a fly ball to center field, her first time up. That was back in the second inning. She's up again here in the third. Tigers have batted around.
I beg everyone's pardon. It was a 4-1 game, but all 4 runs scored off of 6 straight singles.
That's nice. Ball higher in the strike zone, but right in there.
Belt high. Not a good place to be, but she got away with it.
They haven't really hit the ball that hard off of Knight, but they've been hitting it in the right place.
They sure have.
Hyatt a little late on that one, 1-2. We'll be talking with Coach Rittman after this inning ends, before the top of the 4th. Excited to talk to him. His first place in the ACC, Clemson Tigers. Pitch to Hyatt is low, 2-2.
I guarantee you won't get him to say that.
No.
He don't want anybody to notice right now. He just wants to quietly mosey along.
This is a conference game? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Tigers have won 8 games in a row. 11 straight here at home. Off-speed pitch to Hyatt, way out in front of it, strike 3. A beautiful pitch from Brittany Knight. Wow.
It sure was.
She needed that, too.
She sure did. You'll see right here, off-speed, Hyatt way ahead of it. Great job by Knight, but she's not out of the woods yet, because you got the top of the order. You got Pereira coming up. Matamore on deck.
Pereira singled to start this inning. Her second at bat of the inning takes strike 1.
She singled off of Becca Miller.
Correct. That was
her last at bat, correct?
That is correct. So this will be the last new batter, I guess, in the lineup to face Knight.
I just wanted you to know I keep up with stuff like
you,
that.
Man, I'm impressed.
And I mean, I remember that.
I'm impressed. Way outside, 1-1, and a good job by Barbie to get over there and catch that one. Knight taking her time. I don't blame her. Base is full of Tigers. Pereira hits one right back to Knight. She fires it over to first base, and this inning is finally over for the Pitt Panthers. Tigers add 4 runs. They now lead 7-0. We'll be right back with Coach John Rittman. Welcome back in as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Tigers now up 7-0. And, Coach, you've got to be pleased with the bats the last 2 innings.
Yeah, you know, it took us an inning to figure out the first pitcher, 99, and once we got on time with her, we put a lot of balls in play and had some good timely hits there, and then they brought in their ace there, Miller. It throws a little bit harder, but was very proud of our approach at the plate and put a lot of pressure on them defensively. We quit trying to hit the home run and just started hitting some base hits and driving in some runs, so that was nice to get that big inning.
Coach, tell us a little bit about Cagle out there on the mound. I mean, she's showing not only can she pitch, but she feels her position very well.
Oh yeah, she's a 5-tool player like we've mentioned before. She's very talented, and they've really had a good approach on her. You know, they've been hitting the ball hard, and but she's held her composure pretty well out there and fielded her position, like you said, Scott. So couldn't be happy with her, you know, her performance, and let's try to go get the win now.
Yeah, but so you going to change your approach at all now that you're up 7, or you going to just keep going?
No, we're just going to keep going, man. We're full throttle forward right now. We just need to keep our approach at the plate and not try to do too much and just have some good barrel control right now.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck the rest of the way. We appreciate you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Again, we head to the top of the 4th inning. The Tigers had 3 runs in the 2nd inning, 4 runs in the 3rd inning. And again, you've got the whole touchdown and extra point now for Valerie Cagle, who, like you said, coming into the last inning with a 3-0 lead, just throws strikes. Now Valerie literally just needs to put it in there and not hurt herself in any way.
Yep. She right now wants to pump a lot of strikes. She, her approach, you know, could be a lot like it's 0-0 because she wants to hold them right there. She doesn't want to give Pitt any reason to think they're back in this game.
Lexi Haynes, the first baseman, fouls one away. Hit a grounder to short her first time up. And the Panthers need base runners.
Just got a nice message from Clemson alum Gene Neal down in Jasper, Georgia, who part-time lives down in Hilton Head, South Carolina. He's watching us today. So, I think Gene is, you see right there, she swings right through that rise ball. I think Gene's about 180 years old. I'm not sure. But he loves his Tigers and he loves ACC action, so he's checked in with us.
You would not have loved the call on that pitch. I think Cagle thought she had strike 3. Yep. I even think Alexi Haynes in the box kind of turned away to go back to the dugout.
Everybody thought it was strike 3 except the one vote that counts.
That one's strike 3. Just blows it by Haynes for the strikeout.
And you know, sometimes the umpire will just lean over and tell the catcher, "I missed it." But right there was no doubt about that one.
3rd strikeout on the game for Valerie Cagle. Connor McGaffick swings and misses. Strike 1. She was a strikeout victim her first time up as well. Valerie Cagle, 3rd in the ACC with 69 strikeouts coming into the day. She now has 72 to match her jersey number. Looking for 73 here.
There you go. She's off to a good start.
Cagle also 7 wins, 6 losses on the season. All 7 of her wins have been complete games. She'd love to make that 8 here today. Graphic behind 0-2. Fouls one right back over our head here.
McGaffick, 229 hitter. She's got 1 home run, got a little bit of power.
The senior looks at ball 1. Busy day here if you're coming down to Clemson. There's a baseball game against Boston College starting at 4 and a men's basketball game starting at 7 against Georgia Tech. You can make a day of it. Gaffick stays alive. Men's baseball team first ACC game of the season, hosting the Eagles this weekend. Last regular season home game for the men's basketball team. They get ready for ACC tournament play. Gaffick went out towards second. Pereira's going to have to hurry. Can't quite make the play. Good athletic play there, just didn't quite have enough on the throw.
Did everything she could. She kept the ball in the infield, but she was so far deep in the hole she couldn't get enough on the throw. And McGaffick's aboard with 1 out. You'll see here. 1, 2, 3. Those 3 hoppers up the middle are hard to throw the runner out. And as you see, that McGaffick easily beat it.
I think Pereira stumbled a little bit. I'm not sure she would have had her anyway, but that didn't help things.
No, it didn't. She did have a little bit of a stutter in her step or a trip.
The catcher, Walker Barbie. Hit a comebacker right to Valerie Cagle her last time up. Cagle a little high, 2-0. And I love this. Bailey Taylor coming over, saying a word or two to Valerie Cagle, settling her down.
Yeah, just trying to let her know the score is still 7-0.
Cagle, comebacker, goes to second and throws it behind her into center field. The runners will both be safe, so McGaffick will be safe at second, Barbie will be safe at first, and Cagle will wish she had that one back.
Yes, she will, and she'll also, again, learn something from this. She does a great job fielding the ball, and she just simply threw the ball out into center field. Good job that time by the center fielder, Logaleo, backing things up. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to help out a big inning from occurring if all else fails that time. If you're Cagle, just get the out at first. I mean, have 2 outs with a runner on second. I mean, just but you gotta, when you do this right now you give the other team a little bit of hope.
Pinch runner into the ball game. That's Hannah Bache. It looks like Bach, but it's Bache. We talked about this earlier.
It's Bache.
Yep. And also, as a play-by-play guy, if there's a creative pronunciation that may or may not make it into the game, they always make it into the game.
They always get there, don't they?
So we've been waiting on that. Grounder off of the third baseman Taylor's glove. That's going to go out into left field. 1 run's going to score. It's going to be close play at third here. Runners will advance. So Kayla Lane comes in with the single and the RBI. And the Panthers are on the board. And you talked about trying to avoid the big inning. Panthers have something cooking now.
They sure do. And it's time right now for this Clemson team to kind of circle the wagons a little bit. You'll see that ball just hit between the bag and the third baseman Taylor. You'll see the play coming in the third baseman. She's easily in. They may score that a double. You'll see the run score.
Yeah, McGaffick crossing home plate. Good aggressive base running by the Panthers. Have runners at second and third now. We've got Barbie on third and Lane on second. Lolo Sanchez did a comebacker last time up. Takes ball 1.
The reason I asked Coach Rittman that question about were you going to change your strategy, you're just going to keep your foot on the gas. This is exactly what I was getting to. I wish I'd have asked the question a little differently, because you can actually, take a deep breath and relax a little bit too much when you get a big lead. And I'm not saying that's happening. I'm just saying that it certainly can happen.
So pinch hitter into the ball game. That's Chandler Walter. She looks at strike 1, so she's in for Lolo Sanchez. And looks at ball 1 there. Well, that's 2-1 now.
And Chandler Walter's hitting .095 on the year. She has 2 hits and 21 trips. She does have an RBI. Pittsburgh coach Jody Hermanick is probably trying to load the wagon right now and get as many runs as she can.
Walter could really help their cause here. Pops one up on the infield. Goodwin is under it. Back pedals, catches it. Runners stay where they are. Out number 2.
Good job by Cagle inducing the easy fly ball. Of course, fly balls are not easy today. Goodwin does a good job staying with it.
Cagle's thrown 58 pitches so far. See Jody Hermanick trying to get a couple of more runs in for the Panthers. We'll be talking to Coach Hermanick right after this half of an inning. Bates Soul singled her first time up. This one right back to Cagle. Cagle hurries it over to first base for out number 3. But the Panthers do pick up a run. They now trail in this ball game 7-1. We'll be right back with Coach Jody Hermanick. 7-1 our score as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Tigers on top. Pleasure to be joined by Coach Jody Hermanick. And Coach, you scrapped a run out that inning and trying to get back in this ball game.
Yeah, I'd like some more. You know, we've had a couple of opportunities early in the game, and we're just going to keep fighting. We're going to keep winning at bats, not just for today, but for the whole entire series, because we know we're going to see her again. So what can we do here? Just keep fighting.
Yep. Coach, I thought you had a great strategy with the starting pitcher Becca Miller coming out, and then a couple of doubles and a homer there in the second inning. Was your removing her from the game after basically the first time through the order? Was that scheduled, or was that just something that your gut told you to do?
No, my gut said come with Becca today because I think that she does a good job of spinning the ball and getting a lot of missed hits. But, you know, they capitalized on a couple of balls elevated in the zone, and now we just needed to go to our workhorse, Brittany Knight, who's been leading us pretty well, and let's get her a clean slate right here with nobody on to come into and see what she's got.
Right. Well, I know I'm familiar with your work, and, you know, after everything that you did at Ohio and you're in your second year at Pitt, I know you're going to get that thing straight down and get them going.
Absolutely. I know it too, and so does all of Pittsburgh Nation. So Let's do this.
Thanks a lot, Coach,
Thanks
and
so
good
much.
luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
One of my favorite things about these softball broadcasts, Scott, is the chance to get the coaches in game. You know, you see this a whole lot in a number of the sports that you get to cover, and they're always so open as well. I feel like you can ask them pretty aggressive questions, and they're going to tell you in game how they feel. Really like that, and a great pleasure to be joined there by Coach Hermanick.
And she had an absolutely great career at Ohio. And we got a new catcher in the game.
It's Hannah Bates. Will stay in and catch.
Not Bach.
Nope. Ball 1. There's Bates.
We'll see what Knight can do now. This inning is strictly her own. She's not coming in with runners on base. She's not coming in with a lot of things happening. Let's see if she settles in.
Ball is hit a mile up in the air. Let's see who's going to track it down. Batesole grabs it again with that crazy wind blowing around. Those are always an adventure. Matamore makes out number 1.
You can't take anything for granted if you're an infielder now on fly balls. That one you saw allowed or forced the third baseman to have to drift several feet to close out the play.
She's got those sunglasses, but she got them on the top of her visor. She probably wished she had them on her eyes when that ball went up in the air. You don't see that much from Valerie Cagle, 0 for 2 on the day so far. Ball 1.
She's looked like she's just been very impatient today in the batter's box.
Tigers scored 3 in the second inning, 4 in the third inning. Pittsburgh came back with a run in the top of the 4th. That's got us to where we are right now. It's 7-1. Outside to Cagle, 2-0. Cagle, the ACC Player of the Week. She's gotten that award twice this season. She leads the ACC in runs scored. She leads the ACC in RBI. She's second in the ACC in hits and second in the ACC in home runs to her teammate Marissa Gombarda, who's up next.
Yep. we're only this is our 5th weekend of play in the 2020 season, and she's already got 2 Player of the Week awards. I'm sure everybody else in the league wishes she would kind of cool off, where maybe they can get a chance.
There it is, ACC Player of the Week twice this season. Also won it the week of February 17th. Pitch from Knight. Nagel fouls it away. Counts 2-2.
Kegels from Yorktown, Virginia. Chose to come south to play for the Tigers.
And they're happy she did. Such a young lineup for the Tigers. 12 freshmen, 4 of them red shirts, 8 of them. Grounder to second base. A nice play there by Kruger to get a glove on it. Couldn't put anything on the throw, and Kegel will have an infield hit.
Yes, she will. She did a good job of getting around on that ball. The second baseman did a great job that time. You watch Kruger, but she knocked it down, but by the time and it was a great attempt just rolling the ball basically over toward first base, but no chance to get Kegel.
Caitlin Kruger, I've been waiting on a Freddie Kruger reference this whole day. So Caitlin will get me one with a play that she makes, and I'll be able to work it in there. But couldn't quite come up with that one. Ball 1 to Gombarda.
Well, I think you just did it.
He did.
Yeah, that was good.
Something about his fingers or knives. She couldn't quite come up with it. Yeah, we'll work on something.
All right.
I shouldn't have tipped my hand there.
We got another game tomorrow.
Gombarda singled and scored back in the 3rd, struck out in the 2nd. Beautiful off-speed pitch there.
Yeah.
1-1. Wow.
If that was a good, if you're Gombarda, you watch. She's just like, no.
Second in the ACC in total bases and slugging percentage. Again, leads the ACC in home runs with 10. That's second in the entire country. That was high, 2-1.
Yeah, she's had a good season the first month. I mean, to tell you, her numbers are impressive. I mean, a lot of kids would love to end the year with 10 home runs.
Knights outside again, 3-1. You got to be careful with Marissa Gombarda.
And you know she would have had an 11th homer if not for a freak base running incident against Charlotte. She had a home run changed to a single because she accidentally passed the base runner that was ahead of her.
Hung and hit high and deep to center field. Did she get enough? Right off the top of the wall. Gombarda's going to go into second base. Valerie Kegel will make it over to third. And Logaleo hit that one, 18 inches from the top of the wall earlier? That might have been even closer to the top of the wall.
That might have even been closer. And Logaleo's was more of a line drive, but Gombarda just lofts one out there, hit very firmly.
And Levesque almost made a play on this ball as well.
Yeah, she just kind of ran out of territory. And I think that ball may have hit the very top of the pad and came back in.
So Gombarda doesn't get the home run, but she'll pick up her 3rd double of the year, and Hannah Goodwin will step in with a chance to do some more damage for the Tigers.
Absolutely.
She takes strike 1. Let's see,
See that? See if we can slow that down.
If it hit her glove, I think it hit the wall first, and then maybe her glove.
Yeah, maybe we can get that a little bit later in slow motion.
Almost a home run, almost a great defensive play, and let's see, Coach Rittman's coming in.
He's going to put a pinch runner right at second base. And let's see, our great production team's going to give us another look right here. In slow motion, you see Levesque out there, and just off the very top of the padding out there, it might have even got a little bit of the rail. I don't know if you can notice that in the shot, but the fence railing is just a little bit above the padding out there in center field, and that ball went as far as it possibly could go and not leave the park.
Ariella Oda comes in to run for Gombarda. And great camera work, guys. Good work out there.
Absolutely.
Not a surprise.
Great crew.
It's the Goodwin, fouled away. 0-2. See Ariel Oda out there at second base. Coach Rittman called him his Swiss Army knife. Does a little bit of everything. Can play the infield and the outfield.
Yep.
Speed demon on the bases as
pitch
well.
Run, yep. Does a little bit of the dirty work for the Tigers.
Pitched a good one. Ball's hit to the shortstop. Looks the runner back. Fires over to first. A good play there by Lane for out number 2.
Yep. Good job that time. Held the runners. Good, crisp, accurate throw to first base.
Lane had a couple of difficult plays in the third inning that hit off of her glove. Nothing difficult about that. Did it perfectly looking those runners back.
The difference in that play and the plays that she had trouble with is that play allowed her to move toward the ball. She was able to kind of dictate the hop and dictate the movement, and she was able to field it and throw it.
Pitch to M.K. Bonamy. Ball 1.
Bonamy, a red shirt senior. We talked about her being a stabilizing force in this young roster.
Bonamy hits one down the third base line. Foul. Count evens at 1-1.
Once again, Coach Rittman showing he's quick as a cat. Getting out of the way. There he is.
His goal is to stay off camera for the rest of the game.
He does not want to get hit with a ball.
It's to Bonamy, fouled away, 1-2. And Brittany Knight came into the ball game in the third inning. She gave up a number of hits. I think she gave up 5 hits last inning, but they were all singles, and none of them hit very hard. I mean, that ball that was hit by Gombarda, really the only hard hit ball off of her in this game so far. Bonamy hits one into right center field. That ball is going to be off the wall. That's going to score 2 runs. It'll be a close play at second here. No runner. The throw there is cut off, and M.K. Bonamy a 2-run double. Tigers up 9-1.
And you see that the Notre Dame transfer, Bonamy, drove that ball to the right center gap, scored both of the base runners, slides in easily. And I think it's been discussed before on our broadcast. The hitter,
Cagle and Oda scoring there.
Yep. You see there, everybody's happy and jumping up and down and shouting, but Goodwin out there at second base. Wait, that's not. Is that Goodwin? Yeah, that's Goodwin.
That was Bonamy on the double.
That was Bonamy on the double. Excuse me.
That's all right. First pitch to Logaleo, fouled away. Logaleo has a double and an RBI and a walk and an RBI. Also scored a run. Really got the fireworks started. Her RBI doubled back in the second. Scored the first run of this ball game. The Tiger bats have been hot since then. Logaleo. It's one foul. Gonna make it just over the crowd. 0-2 the counts. And I had the broadcaster jinx on Brittany Knight. I apologize, Brittany, because I just talked about how there had not been very many hard hit balls off of her, and M.K. Bonamy changed that.
And Bonamy has also created an opportunity for the Tigers.
Logaleo hits one off the end of her bat, and that'll be snagged by Haynes.
We can talk about that when we come back, but
that sounds great. We will do that. Tigers add a couple more runs. They're on top after 4, 9-1. Tigers on top of the Panthers, 9-1 in the top of the 5th inning, and I struggled with this all before the game. That's an anemometer? Did I get that right? That measures the wind. It got up to 30 miles an hour earlier. Doesn't look like it's blowing quite as hard right now.
Right. And right now, if you are Valerie Cagle, you want to take advantage of an opportunity, because if the Tigers can retire the side without a run scoring, it's ball game day over. Everybody go home and get warm.
That's the pitch to Cagle. From Cagle to Pavlik. Strike 2. Next one's high, 1-2.
Pitching with a big lead sometimes is difficult, but Cagle has done a fairly good job with it. I thought, she rocked a little bit in the last inning. But over the course of the season, she's been blessed with runs to work with, and she's done a pretty good job with it. But I guarantee you there's not a pitcher in America in any sport that wouldn't take an 8-run lead in the 5th inning.
Havlik, 1 for 2. It's about to be 1 for 3. Out number 1 here in the top of the 5th. Valerie Cagle looking for another complete game win. This would be her 8th of the season if she can get a couple of more outs here. And a really nice play by Pereira.
Yep.
The center fielder, number 5, Hunter Lovesh.
Ground ball to Pereira, got it over to Bottoming.
Here go, Brad. Let's go, Parker.
Ball 1 outside. Levesque had a single in the first inning, was thrown out at the plate. The biggest defensive play of the ball game so far.
Yep.
Struck out. Inside part of the plate there, 1-1.
Yep, you want to hammer the strike zone now. You just want to beat it to death and make the Pittsburgh players beat you, because you certainly don't want to help them at all now.
Slips out of Cagle's hands there, 2-1.
Yep, she had a 34-footer of her own that time.
Yep.
See this? Ooh. That thing, after it hit the ground, it broke back in the zone. It was low, but it was across the plate.
Could have hopped it up there. Strike 2. Cagle got in a little trouble in the first inning. We talked about Levesque singled, got the second on a pass ball. Kruger came up next and hit a single, and Levesque was thrown out at the plate.
One of the coldest comments I ever heard a coach make to a player. I will not identify the player or the coach, but a player swung at a ball that bounced about 4 feet in front of the plate and came back to the dugout and slammed the bat down in absolute anger of swinging at a pitch like that. And the head coach of the team didn't even look up. And there's strike 3 right there by Cagle, and now the Pitt Panthers are down to their last out. But anyway, he slammed the bat down in complete frustration after swinging the ball and bounced in the dirt, and the head coach just said, kid, don't take it so rough. That ball took a bad hop on you. And that is just one of the coldest comments I've ever heard in my life shared between a coach and a player.
So the last hope here potentially for the Panthers is Caitlin Kruger stands in there, takes strike 1. Valerie Cagle looking for her 8th complete game of the season. Kruger had a single back in the first inning that I just referenced where Levesque ended up being thrown out at the plate. And she had a grounder to second base back in the 3rd. Tigers on top 9-1, looking to run rule the Pitt Panthers in the opening game of this 3-game series. Check swing, strike 2.
And just like that, Pitt's down to their last strike. You see this, she couldn't hold up, Kruger couldn't hold up.
That one was close.
Oh, that was a
1-2.
good pick. A couple people had taken a step toward the dugout. It was a little low, but it was a great pitch.
And then to the count, Valerie Cagle looking for the complete game. Check swing there. Strike number 3. And a complete game victory for Valerie Cagle. The Tigers win this one by a score of 9-1. That's Cagle's 5th strikeout of the ball game, striking out the last 2 batters of the ball game as well. Clemson wins game number 1 of this series, 9-1.
Yep. And if you're Coach John Rittman and the Tigers, you got exactly what you wanted. You wanted to get out in front, win the first game of the series, because it's all about winning series. And they've accomplished that today, and Cagle did not have to work the 6th and 7th innings. You see the strikeout right there to end this thing. But I'm sure that Coach Jody Hermanic will get her team reorganized and ready to go back after tomorrow.
So, Scott, the Tigers move to 4-0 in the ACC. They'll remain in first place in the ACC. And a great offensive day to match the incredible pitching performance by Valerie Cagle.
Looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, should be a great one tomorrow. Most of the damage done early on. Aaliyah Logaleo had a double and an RBI. Bailey Taylor, the 2-run homer. Tigers added 4 more runs in the 3rd inning, and they win this one 9-1. We'll be back again tomorrow afternoon. Have a wonderful afternoon.